You are now watching Power Talk on the DML Network.
Welcome. We are back with another installment of Power Talk, the DML staple show where we talk about the top 10 users up until week 8. It could be the top power list users. It's however we feel we want to express how certain users are doing in the DML. I have my guy with me today, the schemer, who will be assisting me in this top 10 list. How you doing today, man?
What's going on, man? Power talk time. It's time to talk about the top 10. I'm very excited.
Well, I'm glad to have you, and I'm glad to everyone welcome him to the league. He took over the New England Patriots and is doing this thing in the AFC East. Look forward to a long, collaborative Power Talk installments with him. All right. First, what we're going to do, when we did Power Talk last time, we actually went over the top 10 users that were projected to win the season. If you're not familiar with the season, it's what the DML currently is in. The season is basically the inaugural season of the Madden cycle, where users cannot trade. They have to basically rely on their stick skills and the real life transactions of the GM per their team. So therefore, you're taking them out the box and you're trying to get to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, and raise that gold banner as the season champion. All right. This is also a playoff of our high stakes season, which is the last season of the cycle, where users take the accumulation of their point system points, which means content and things that we've done throughout the cycle, along with their final placement in the standings during the high stakes season. And then we tally them up. And then that's where that particular person or user will draft during the next cycle's team selection draft. Okay, you can go back and look at our last one. It was awesome. Check it out on the DML network on YouTube. All right. So first, we're going to look at the projected this season winners top 10 list first. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So as you can see here, we had at number 10 Sweets 99 coming off a strong Madden 18 cycle, taking over the New York Jets. At number 9, we had King Vitamin. Okay. At number 8, we had Mr. Force himself, aka Force, aka AFC Force. Next, we have Matty Ice himself coming in at number 7. Then we have KP coming in at number 6. Number 5, Expert, host of DML's Experts Corner. Go check that out on YouTube. Subscribe. He's trying to get to 100 followers. Then we have Addy Does 05 coming in at number 4. Number 3, The Bus. Number 2, we had HB 30, but he's no longer with the DML. And in the first, we had the 2-time back-to-back Madden 18 champion with the Miami Dolphins, Tightwork. Real quick, the schemer, being as though that was a projected list based on what they did in Madden 18, how do you feel about that list prior to your knowledge of the other list when you came into DML?
Oh yeah, it's a real great list. Pretty accurate. You know, Tightwork definitely had back-to-back Super Bowls. I was very impressed. He also played in another Super Bowl and lost to a former player, Hot Tub. I feel in the end, Matty always going to rise to the top, especially in the AFC. And the Bears going to duke it out. But I see the Eagles coming out of that. Let's see here. Some guys who could jump on that list going strong. Even though he's a new user, I look for Matty Lowe to jump on that list eventually. Maybe not as high as HP, but he'll definitely be on that list somewhere. Very strong user. But these guys are game planning each and every week. You just never know. You never know who's going to come on top. You might see the Cardinals rise to the top eventually. So we'll see how it plays out.
Very true. Here in the DML, there really isn't a bad user. Anyone can get it on any given day. So therefore, I know the schemer mentioned Hot Tub, a former champion here in the DML, but he no longer is with us either. Mutual parting of ways. So we will move on. So that's why you don't see that projected user on this current list. All right. Now, that particular list was the Power Talk projected to win the season list prior to the first kickoff of the season. And now we're going to go to the actual top 10 standings currently up to week 8 and in Madden 19. And we're going to show you if certain users have dropped off the list or if there's some new faces on the list. Okay? So at number 10, already we see a change. We got my man C. Rob with those Carolina Panthers coming in at number 10. What do you think about C. Rob in his current season, man?
Man, C. Rob, man, it's questionable. He came into the game, I said, nah, he's not gonna make it through that. That's a tough division for him. He got added 5 to deal with it with the Saints. But man, he found a way to win. The guy don't score at 91 points so far. Gave up 78, so he definitely winning with defense. Strong win, Baltimore. But C-Rob, hey, you don't want to play him right now. If you play him, he probably gonna help, make it a field goal game. So far, he's holding his own. You got Luke in the middle, so it's probably a big part of his defense right now. But he's winning by defense. He's gonna have to find a way to score. 91 points at this point, that's real low. It's very low. So he's gonna have to be in the lab, say, hey, you know what? Take his team to the red zone and try to get, a couple of more touchdowns per game.
I definitely agree. We have a lot of high-scoring offenses in the DML, but what I can say about C-Rob is he's a football player. He knows football. He played it in real life. He coaches it. He knows the game. So therefore, I know that he plays defense. He's an old-school Madden player, meaning that he plays defense and he runs the ball. He's always got a stable of running backs, and he likes to get busy with them. So I'm not surprised at him being on this list because really and truly, that division, that NFC South is definitely a division where, other than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's separated by at least one game between the top team and the third seeded team. So any one of them, by a strike of luck, could have been in the top 10 spot. And it's just that at this current time, C-Rob is hot. And you did mention he did defeat the previously undefeated Philadelphia Eagles with Matty Ice. And then he went up there and beat Matty Lowe, who came off of a win over the then defeated New Orleans Saints. So, C-Rob is definitely doing his thing right now. And he comes in at number 10, which is where he should be at this current time. All right, number 9. We got my man from the West Coast, Tone Dog, with those Oakland Raiders. He lost Khalil Mack, but he said, hey, it's all right, baby. We just win, baby. Just win, as the late Al Davis would say. So he's coming in at number 9. And, how do you feel about what he's doing out there?
I like the Oakland Raiders. Oakland Raiders, he wasn't high on my board to begin with. Great coach right now. Looking at his schedule, right now, I wish I was the GM of the Oakland Raiders. A bunch of first-round picks, 5-2 still winning. Man, the future is bright for the Raiders from a GM standpoint. I saw he had a tough loss against the Dolphins. He lost against the Chargers. Chargers right in his division. It was a high-scoring game, 37-31. So he definitely got some competition in his division. Look for him in tight work. They might even meet in the playoffs. So sometimes when you lose to somebody in the regular season, you're going to be the one to make the adjustment. So I feel like, Oakland Raiders is one of the teams you don't want to face in the first round.
I definitely agree. I've always had a battle with Tone Dog. He's a great user. He may have kind of a down year in Madden 18, but Madden 16, Madden 17, especially Madden 17 with those Seattle Seahawks, he had them boys rolling. He knows his stuff. And, him being on this list is not surprising to me. Again, that AFC West was voted, I believe, the best, the hardest or best division in the DML. So, I see the Denver Broncos is trailing, but JB, he gets busy too. So for him to be on this list on that tough division is definitely impressive. All right. So as you'll see, moving up, we have at number 8, KP. Just a little reminder, you see a little arrow. It'll either be a red arrow going down or a green arrow going up. Means that particular user either dropped a spot or increase the spot based upon the original projected the season winner. So as you can see here, we have my boy KP and those Kansas City Chiefs and all that speed. He dropped down from number 6 to number 8. He had a tough loss against the Broncos on a last-minute kick return when we know, you all know, he should have squibbed it. And JB took advantage and ran that thing back for a walk-off touchdown. And then he came in and he lost to you, the schemer. So,
Okay.
you know, how you, I mean, I'm not saying that like I'm shocked, but, you know, this is a four-time Madden 17 or four-time Madden 17 banner raiser. You know, how you feel about those Chiefs?
I like the Chiefs. Chiefs scored, you know, lead the league in scoring at 243 points, you know, after 8 games. So basically, he's the only one right now that's averaging 30 points a game. You know, he definitely have a lot of weapons. But I think when I was scrimmaging against the Chiefs, there was a lot of teams using the Chiefs. You know, prior to starting the season, you could talk to Terradon about that, known as the OG Chris Murray. You know, he beat me pretty bad with the Chiefs. So, you know, through the preseason acts, that kind of helped me out. You knew he wanted Tyreek Hill. Plus, the Patriots got some gems. I got Jones, cornerback Jones. He got 95 speed in the slot. And I got Croson with 95 speed in the slot. So, by him trying to go to the slot a lot more, I was prepared for that. And plus, offensively, I caught him off guard a couple of times. I think that was a good win for me, kind of like a bittersweet moment, because then I feel overconfident and I lose to the Bills skill trade.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
So, I mean, you know, it's definitely a guy I see going all the way to the AFC Championship. Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, you can't feel bad about that because even the users that may have 1, 2, or, you know, 3 wins, no one's going defeated this year, just so everyone knows. Everyone has a win in the DML. Any user, like I said, anybody can get it on any given day. You could be 8-1 facing somebody that's 1-8, and you can lose. So I'm like, even I don't take anybody for granted. I literally, like me personally, I go game to game. I don't even know who I play. I play the Bills this week. I don't know who I play after that. I just go game to game because if you focus too far ahead, you'll find yourself in a funk and on a losing streak in the DML. Making the offs, as we call it, which is the playoffs, is a big thing. All right. Next up, we got the 2-time champion, Tight Work, who was projected to win it all, but has had some key losses by fewer than a total of maybe 10 points. Missed field goals, missed opportunities. So he drops down 6 spots from number 1 to number 7. I know I attributed to 2 of those losses, you know, by 9 points and then by 2 points yesterday. I mean, he's still the champ. How do you feel about that? I mean, how do you feel where that play? If Tight Work, how do you going forward? Is Tight Work going to repeat as the 2-time the season champion?
Not this year. I feel year 1. Yeah, I feel like right now he needs a little bit more help on that team to face the big dogs. But he's the kind of guy who make adjustments during the game. I mean, we was going pound for pound, and he used 4 running backs to beat me. That was actually my worst game. You know, I was stopping his run game, but while stopping him, I wasn't scoring. I mean, you played great defense on this guy for 4 quarters. I played good defense for 2.5 quarters. Once he finds a back he can rely on, like an all-around running back, he's going to be tough to deal with. Right now, he's relying on defense. That's a great defensive guy. He hasn't even given up 100 points yet. So, if you be patient against this guy, you definitely got a chance to knock him out and just wait on Tannehill to make mistakes. But when you stop him, you need to make sure you go down and score because he doesn't go away from his game plan at all.
Definitely. And it's that aura of him being a 2-time champ. And he got probably one of the best names in the DML at Tight Work. if you're old head, you know, yeah, like Rick Tyree, yeah. If you're old head, you know what that's hitting for. All right, moving on. At number 6, another newcomer to the list, SJ, Mr. Buffalo, Mr. Up North with those Houston Texans. Now, surprising, You know, he's not a scrub at all. You know, he gets busy. I call him Mr. Free Agency because that man, when somebody drops, he on it. He get them. But he's playing some good ball, and he's definitely a threat in the AFC. What do you think about SJ and what he's doing thus far in the Madden 19 cycle, the scheme?
Right now, I got SJ winning the Super Bowl. Going to the AFC. Going to the Super Bowl. What happens on the other side? Not too sure. That's the NFC. We'll get to that in a minute with the NFC teams. But just focusing in on SJ, he know he has to take care of the AFC first. The way he punished expert in the Jacksonville defense, where you just have to click X for them to play defense, to beat them 42-0. Man, I started going to Vegas to put my money in on the Texans to go straight to the Super Bowl, the AFC champ. I mean, this guy scoring 237 points. That's all, that's second behind the Kansas City Chiefs, who has the best offense. But this guy hasn't given up 100 points either. I mean, it's only 94 points at this point. So he's definitely a candidate to go to the Super Bowl. His defense is staggering. He knows how to get to the quarterback. He can beat you any kind of way. You can't focus in on one part of the game. I mean, he got receivers. He can power run. He can run to the outside. He can pick the ball off. He's well-rounded right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. People saying that he's not using DeAndre Hopkins. He's actually using him very well. Like, he's getting his numbers, but he's not spamming him. You know, he's making sure he gets his 6-7 catches, 150 yards, this here and there, as an elite wide receiver should. You know, he definitely utilizes his teams and its strengths very well. I've seen him moving Clowney around in the box. J.J. Watts catching interceptions. That Jacksonville game was definitely an eye-opener to the league as to the Houston Texans are for real. I beat the Jaguars by 1 point. He beat him by 42. And as the bus said, gave expert a Krispy Kreme donut. So I know, I've been playing with him for 3 cycles now. Since Madden 16, and he's always been tough, but I think a lot of the old school users that were here in Madden 16 feel like Madden 19 is the reincarnation of Madden 16's with the better graphics, because it feels comfortable, and those users that were rocking out back then are coming to the top this year. All right, also another newcomer to the list, and definitely very surprising, number 5, got myself and my New York Jets. I can tell everyone, no, I was not expecting to be at 7-6-2, leading the AFC East. I just wanted to go in and compete and try to get a respectable draft pick because I want to, build through the draft. And like I mentioned, the game feels very comfortable to me, where things are clicking. I'm starting to see things, and I got a few things that I've seen in the past that I'm utilized going forward. The schemer. I know you've been, talking about the Jets are for real and all this other stuff. How do you feel about, this placement at number 5 and what I have done up to this point?
Well, number 5, that's a pretty good spot at this point. I feel when it comes down to the end, you'll probably be at least number 4 on this list at the end of the season. Because, you're another candidate for the Super Bowl as well, because you always seem to run into these high-powered guys and slow them down. 2 big wins against the Dolphins definitely raised some eyebrows. Well, what's staggering, and I know it's a video game, you're 4-0 at home. So home field advantage for you would be huge. If you can win out and find out a way to play people at home, that votes in your favor. And the stats don't even add up for the players. I mean, the quarterback rating is 69.3 under Sam Darnold. His interception total doubles his touchdown totals. But you know what you're supposed to do at home. So it's definitely a loud crowd. They got you, the fans are behind your back 100%. So that tells me that if Kansas City has to travel to, New York, it could be a long day for Tyreek Hill in that offense.
Yeah, definitely trying to find, a groove. Just taking what the offense and defense is given to me. It's not pretty. Like I said, old school football is just about the W. They can throw for 400 or 500 yards as long as they don't score. And I've been working on my field goal kicking because I lost to the Bears because of field goal kicking. And then the next week he goes 4 for 4, and I went by 2 over the champ tight work, which was very hard for a game. All right, moving on up. All right, at number 4, previously at number 7, we got my man, my fellow Philly brethren, Mr. Matty Ice, who made a shocking splash in Madden 18 with the New Orleans Saints, rebuilding them and bringing them back to prominence. And he's coming in at number 4, again, moving up 3 spots with his hometown Philadelphia Eagles. I know he took a surprising loss to the Panthers, who are number 10 on this list, which isn't really surprising because, again, C-Rob's a formidable user. But, again, losing on field goals. Field goals is big, everyone. Field goals is key. So make sure you have a good kicker and you take your time. How do you feel about Matty Ice at number 4?
Matty Ice right now is what you call Mr. Big Play. I mean, you got Alshon Jeffries averaging 28.1 yards a catch. What gets me is, how do you have 9 touchdowns with 1 receiver the way this game is? People are barely getting even 4 touchdowns at this point with their key receivers. It's not that easy to score, but he makes it look easy time and time again in different ways. So, hey, Alshon Jeffries, definitely, him and Wallace are a 2-headed monster. Because even Mike Wallace, he's 29 yards to catch. So you definitely better have your safeties back when you play this guy. I think right now, he's just trying to get guys a bunch of XP points while he wins. He's definitely not worried about the regular season. He's already looking at going to the Super Bowl. And I look for him to be there. On that side, he has to worry about KP with the Bears. I think that'll be his number 1 nemesis on that side. Oh, come on. You got underrated. You got the Cowboys. I don't think they're going to bother him. And the Giants don't even know what to expect. He don't even think highly of himself right now. So I think that division will be his 8 years straight.
Yeah, definitely. The Giants right now, the thing about that in that division is I hear a lot of users saying the Giants are this, Giants are that. I can tell you the Giants are fast, young, and so I don't understand. The DMLs are rebuilding CFM. All right. So basically, we pride ourselves on being good GMs along with having good stick skills. So you have a young team with an Odell Beckham Jr., a Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, and Evan Ingram. Ooh, like all you got to do is find a quarterback. You can trade away a second. Giving away a little free chicken, but you can trade away a second and get a formidable quarterback to just throw it anywhere. Do y'all not do they not know the catch that Odell made? That's in the game. Throw it anywhere in that man's vicinity, he's gonna catch it. So I don't understand. That's just me. You had the Giants. You already know what it's hitting for with with their ability to be a great team. But as of right now, Matty Ice has that division on lock. And HBO's working with Dallas, underrated. He's trying to find his niche with his hometown Washington Redskins. And then, like you mentioned, the Giants aren't very high on themselves right now. So hopefully the confidence changes as we continue on through Madden 19. Coming in at number 3, up 1 from his spot at number 4 from the original list, we have Addy does 05 with those New Orleans Saints and that high-powered offense. He was at one point undefeated and then took a L to the newbie in kind of a surprising fashion. That newbie is Matty Lowe, controlling the Baltimore Ravens. How do you feel? Do you feel Addy is in the right spot at number 3?
I think he's like maybe a step below Matty Ice probably. But that's okay. I mean, it's real tight. He's one of the few guys that has over 100 ratings for the QB rating. So does Matty Ice as well. Maybe the weak division is the reason why, he's number three as opposed to being 4 behind Matty Ice, because he does play in, I would say he plays in a stronger division by far. So with that weak division that Matty Ice is in, it can hurt his top 10, rating at any point in time. And I will say this here. This is one of the few guys that could beat Matty Ice in the playoffs. Because, against when you play Addy 5, you got to play mistake-free football. So when you play him, you make one mistake and throw a pick, he can very easily go down and score. So you better play safe football because he does have that cornerback Lattimore. To me, the best franchise corner in the game along with Ramsey. So look out for that. And then you got the running game is not too bad either. Kamara, he averaging 5.7 yards a carry. Already 9 touchdowns. That's just as impressive as Alshon Jeffries having 9 touchdowns. If you can get 12 touchdowns or more, which is basically the goal for, players on this game, man, congratulations.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because I'm still trying to get my number one receiver some end zone touchdowns so I can get some archetype updates. It's like, you take what they give. The defense is good. I love this Madden 19. I know other people don't, but I think that is very even based upon your team. If you don't know your team, you're not going to win. You got to know your team. Eddie, definitely, again, another old school mentality for a young fella like himself, where it's bend, don't break. Again, like myself and like other users, you can throw for 400 or 500 yards. It looks good on the stat sheet, but the only stat that matters is that W or that L. So when you get to the red zone, that's the key. That's the key. We want to make sure that you don't get past those pylons. Throw whatever you want to get down there, but we're not letting you finish that off. All right, so moving on. We have a newcomer with an asterisk. All right. Coming in number 2, we have Matty Lowe. Now, we won't talk too much on this particular pick because Matty Lowe is new to the league as in only played 2 games. So the former user was 4-1, and Matty Lowe has played 2 games, upsetting the Saints and then losing to the Panthers, whom were both formidable opponents on this list, bringing his current DML record to 1-1. So therefore, he's on this list based upon record, but we won't go any further into that one because his body of work is not extensive enough for us to compare previous winnings. So with that being said, we're going to just move on to number 1. But congratulations to Matty Lowe for making the list, even if by default. Coming in number 1, we have the Bus, formerly known as the Real KP. One of the hosts of 20 The Real, a show that's out right now. Please go to our DML network and check that out. A new episode just dropped. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, please. The Bus is up 2. All right, we put him at number 3 originally, and that's just because of the 2 users that were above him had a more successful Madden 18 cycle. But the Bus is he's undefeated and he's definitely rolling. He thrives on your mistakes. He doesn't make many mistakes. I can personally say I played him and he beat me. No excuses. When I lose, I lose. I beat myself because I missed 2 field goals and an extra point and I lose by 7. And, he's humble. Like he said, he got lucky. I don't believe he got lucky because there's no luck in the DML. It's skill, and then you lost. But him at number 1 is not surprising. He's moving up 2 spots. He's with his hometown Bears. He had the number 1 pick in the team draft because he did what he had to do content-wise and stick skills-wise during the high-stakes season. How do you feel about the Bus continuing on this path, going undefeated based upon his not very weak, but below subpar division and what he has left and what he's done so far this game?
Well, definitely he'll win the division probably the next 2 seasons. Because this division I actually play too. And, the Vikings definitely, has a strong defense too. But once again, just like we said about C-Rob, this guy needs to pick it up on offense. I mean, I don't see how you could be at this point and only have 62 points scored. I don't see it. And you're 3-5. That sounds like an 0-8 record. The Bears definitely would be a force to reckon with. I mean, right now, in terms of the NFL, he's giving up the 3rd fewest points. That's impressive. And when you're a defensive guy and you have 213 points on offense, and your team produced 213 points. That's equivalent to success. So, and he had Mitchell Trubisky. When the season first started, I said this guy has no chance in the first 2 seasons. Mitchell Trubisky has a higher QB rating than Drew Brees at 109. Oh God! I mean, how do you have Mitchell Trubisky, who's not even an 80 overall at this point, and be winning like that? I mean, you're supposed to be 4-4 with a quarterback of that nature, and this guy's gonna be tough because his team can only get better. I mean, to have a 109.9 rating, more touchdowns and interceptions, and then you got Howard, who I focused in on when I played him. He has, averaging 5 yards per carry. He has 8 touchdowns. So when you go play a guy like this, I know the Eagles are thinking about him. I mean, I know everybody who plays this guy like, wow, I got to play this guy. They drawing up plays for him already. And watch out for Khalil Mack. He already has 12.5 sacks. Will he go to the Super Bowl? I don't pick him to go there. I think the Eagles and the Cardinals. And we're not even talking about the Cardinals in the top 10 yet. But he's rising. Those are the 2 teams that's in front of him right now.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely Guwap is doing his thing out there in Arizona.
Yeah, he's sleep on the Cardinals right now. This dude came behind.
Yeah,
when he thought he lost, he wins.
Yeah, and then he's live chatting it, so he's winning and letting you know how the game's going if you're not watching. Definitely the bus is definitely doing its thing, and it's a lot different when you have the team that you know personally. Like Matty Ice knows his Eagles, the bus knows his Bears, Tightwork knows his Dolphins, C-Rob knows his Panthers, the commish Dion knows his Falcons. So when you have your team, you know what they do in real life. You know where to position them, other than dealing with a foreign team where you got to get to know them. You don't really follow them in real life, so you don't really know what their strengths be, because Madden tries to mimic real life like CFMs try to mimic real life football also. So therefore if you know the players, then you know where to best position them. So yes, this is definitely a very tight list.
Very tight list. Very tight.
At this point, yeah, definitely. At this point, I don't. I'm just waiting. I'm just as being in the league, I'm as excited to see who's going to win this all. The season is definitely something that's here to stay. We ask that you as listeners, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, DML Network. We're going to be doing live broadcasts going forward. We'll keep you abreast to that on our Twitch at the Dynasty CFM. We have a lot of good shows coming out. We have the Gridiron. We got Power Talk. We got Experts Corner. We got The Real. We got Love Hate with HBO. We might be bringing on a few other shows. We got The Franchise. We have a lot of great content, and we grind 365 days a year. So therefore, we don't take breaks. We keep going. We may have maybe a 2-3 week break when we trade in our old Madden, and then we wait for the new Madden to come. But 95% of the league gets the Hall of Fame edition, and we get it early, so give or take a few days. If you have a chance also, please visit our home website. That is the DynastyMaddenLeague.com. We're currently taking applications for our developmental league, the Blueprint. Same exact rules, regulations, everything as the Dynasty. It's just our brother franchise. And then also, if you can, check out our Daddy Leagues. We got a new look thanks to Daddy Leagues. That'll be www.daddyleagues.com/The Dynasty. That's DA, The Dynasty. And you can see how each one of us are doing from week to week. You can check out blogs that we write. A lot of good stuff on there. Without further ado, we thank you for listening with us here at the Dynasty and on Power Talk. And the Scheme, you got anything else you want to say?
Hey man, it's gonna be a long ride, man. It's anybody's game right now. If you can get to the postseason in the first year, without any trades or whatever in the first season, hey, more power to you. Everybody right now, You know, a lot of teams still alive. If you got at least 3 or 4 wins right now, keep grinding it out. Don't give up. I got to take a trip to New York Jets. Nobody seems to be able to win there. So we're going to have a mental talk. We're going to have a mental talk before we come to New York.
Yeah, we definitely will welcome you with open arms. Also, I'm sorry, please check out Hurt Locker. Our guys, the Hurt Locker team, are doing a great job. That show is hilarious. Please check that out right now on our DML network. A new episode just dropped. And also, please check out our Twitter at the Dynasty CFM. We have our Dynasty Sports Center type of look where we have different information posted daily. And we also have Around the Dynasty with myself, where I take you around the Dynasty in a brief 2-minute segment. We have a lot going on, and this is what we need to remain. Keyword: remain the top PS4 CFM league in Madden. So without further ado, from myself, my co-host, the schemer, the man behind the production, Dr. Dre, aka Beyond the Commish Nasty Nuke. This is Power Talk, and we're out.
Thank you for tuning into the DML Network. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button below.